Live from virtual Nashville, Tennessee, we welcome race fans, one and all, to one of the newest ovals on the iRacing service. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sugarlands Distillery 225 here for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway and round number 10 of the iRacing Stock Car Association Tucson Sound Art Cup Series. My name is Nola Rempel. Here in the booth with me today is Alfonso King with Rob Melnick down behind the cameras for tonight's presentation. So 225 laps about to get underway from us here at this beautiful 6/10 of a mile short track out. It should be a barn burner if the race we saw on Thursday night in the Butt Kicker Cup Series is anything to go by.
This race right here is guaranteed to have something for race fans everywhere, because not only are we seeing the first time these 6th-gen cars are on this track, but it's potentially the last time they'll ever be there.
And, of course, it should be a really thrilling end to the season as well. This is our third to last race we have on the year, and one of two short tracks coming up in the next few weeks. You got this race, of course, followed up with the mile and a half, Chicagoland Speedway in just 1 week's time. And then, of course, the 3/4 mile short track, Richmond, to end out the season. So 3 thrilling short tracks in their own right, completely unique in every way, shape, and form. Should be an exciting end to the season. I think it would be a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just can't wait until we get racing here tonight so we can actually see how it's going to play out and see if they're going to go side by side or if they're going to get in line. We're going to have to all tune in and see.
So with qualifying drawing to a quick close, we'll take one step away. We'll be with your starting grid in just a moment. But for now, it's time for the National Anthem. And welcome back to the Sugarlands Distillery 225 here from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway here from round number 10 of the iRacing Stock Car Association Tucson Sound Art Cup Series. It should be a thrilling 225 laps underway for a short. We'll go through starting grid in just a few moments, but for now, I want to kind of touch up on some of the race facts. Of course, as always, you got 3 stages, of course, over the course of the night. Stage 1 comes to a close at the end of lap number 50. Stage 2 at the end of lap number 100. And, well, Al, with the fuel win will be roughly 106 laps. Green flag pit stops won't be coming around until stage number 3, but we actually got some green flag stops in Thursday's race, so with only a 10-car field during the Saturday race, I have a feeling we could be in for a bit of green flag stops here tonight as well. And well, as we continue to wait to hopefully see if maybe we can get some technical difficulties figured on out, why don't we take a quick step away? We'll be back with more in just a moment.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And now with all the technical difficulties hopefully sorted on out for us, why don't we take a rundown of your official Tucson Sound Art starting grid here for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It is Kenny Powell starting on pole position. Just beside him is going to be Gas and Go Racing teammate Greg Wychinski. Gary Adamson sits down in third place with Adrian Watts down in fourth. Frank Flores is in fifth place on road number 3 with Jay Hone, the last driver set to qualify lap, down in sixth. Chris Severa is in seventh with Chris Johnson in eighth. Josh Schaffner and Paul Olson round out your 10-car field for the 0.6 of a mile short track. So, Al, 225 laps about to get underway for us here tonight. Should be an exciting one with stage 1 coming to the end after a 50-lap sprint.
Gonna be a very exciting race indeed. Hopefully everybody can get their cars dialed in. Drivers have had plenty of time to get laps in to get their setups tuned in, so we'll see who actually has the biggest benefit from that.
Fingers crossed it'll be an exciting race for us here tonight. We had a bit of a smaller field that we're used to seeing on the Thursday night Buck Kicker Cup Series as well just a few days ago. About 16 cars over in that outfit, but even then it was still an absolutely exciting race. So even though we have 10 drivers here tonight, we should still be in for a solid race at the end of this one. Just rounding turn 2 for the final time before we get this 225 lap race underway here from Nashville, Tennessee. I want to give a big welcome to everybody that's joining us here for the ISCA Stock Car Association Tucson Sound Art Cup Series, round number 10 here on a Saturday night. Pace car is down to pit road. That leaves it in the hands of Mr. Kenny Powell to lead us back to the green flag. Coming out of turn number 4, we say, let's go racing from Tennessee. What a launch from Chris Severa. Deeper in the field, the pink number 62 Mustang already going 3 wide, trying to find the outside of Frank Flores out of turn number 2. Getting boxed in down the back straightaway as Powell leads the way in turn number 3. There you see Flores on the bottom side. Johnson up top. Severa trying to punch through the middle, and he's up 3 spots now, Al, at the end of lap number 1.
Oh, definitely way to go, 3 wide racing in Nashville. Way to start on a Saturday night.
And now that just leaves Frank Flores to lose some more time from the bottom side. Johnson pulls around, so does Jay Hone, but Chris Johnson getting boxed in by Jay Hone up on that outside line. Now the 48 is going to send one down to the low side and turn number 1, trying to pick up another move. This is the battle for 6th place presently on track, and Chris Johnson to make up that with a very easy overtake potentially here on Jay Hone. Kenny Powell is led.
Chris Johnson's always going to make that Ford Mustang a little wide just to get where he needs to go. It's going to be interesting to see how many drivers go down low on that inside line, because I think it's going to be a little bit slower.
Especially when you get later on into the runs, that's when that inside lane might not necessarily be as good as a few of these drivers might be hoping for. So at the moment, it is Powell to lead the way from Wychinski, from Watts, from Addison, from Severa. You've got Johnson, Hone, Schaffner, Flores, and Olson. 10-car field you set to round out lap number 5. Battle is on for 3rd place up the grid. Gary Adamson up the inside of the JBR Chevrolet of Adrian Watts down in the turn number 1 in the battle for 3rd place. The Monster Energy 4 Muscle looking to power through, but how about Adrian Watts with the drive for the outside line? He'll be looking to try to see if maybe he takes the top side away from Gary Adamson through 3 and 4 this time by, but the Ford Mustang has got the power on the bottom, and it might be Adamson to win out in the battle for 3rd.
Definitely is going to take a lot of patience to get around these cars, especially coming out of 3 and 4 because it gets a little bumpy. I think that low line, though, is still going to be a little bit slower. That outside line's proved to be the one to beat.
How about Chris Severa making his way past both drivers? The G&G 62 Mustang going to work his way up now into the 3rd position. That bumps Addison down to 4th, and Watts down to 6th place now as he's side by side with Chris Johnson. Further in the back, you got Frank Flores looking to duke it out with Jay Holmes. Holmes going to pull the outside line from Frank Flores. That sends the Shake and Bake number 28 Chevrolet down to the 9th spot now on the racing surface. So it's a battle for about 3rd place on back to 7th place, excuse me. You got 8th, 9th, 10th, and their own little train. The top 2 still in a good breakaway as well. Adrian Watts under fire from Josh Schaffner down to the turn 3.
Chris Severa making that bottom line work for him really good. That's interesting to see. Now it's just a matter of letting those tires come to you and seeing if you're going to find that right line that's going to allow you to keep your tires from wearing out. Kenny Powell, he's doing what he does best. He's leading this field here, stretching his lead out a little more.
Just up the road from this battle with Josh Schaffner and Adrian Watts that just got itself sorted on out. 3rd, 4th, and 5th looking to try to break away. Chris Johnson trying to follow up to Gary Adamson, who in turn is trying to run down Chris Severa just up the road. Now Johnson's trying to see if he can put himself between Gary Adamson to give a bit of a teammate help to Chris Severa, which would make it a G&G 1, 2, 3, and 4, with the lone G&G driver Paul Olson being stuck at the tail portion of the field in tonight's race.
Yeah, I think Paul's just biding his time. You know, he seems to be comfortable in the position that he's in, and he'll probably stay that way until he sees that 24 car coming around in his rearview mirror.
You see Paul Olson headed it up from the rear end of the field. Paul Olson is one of those drivers who has been consistent, so far. Unfortunately, not necessarily been the consistent that he would have liked. Always finds himself more towards the tail end of these things. He has been trying so hard to search for a little bit of extra speed. So far, though, has not been able to find that. Looks like that trend is set to continue here from Nashville, Tennessee. Up front, here is Kenny Powell pulling away from Greg Wachinski, just in behind. Now, of course, Kenny Powell currently sitting 2nd place in point, and he is 48.5 points out behind Chris Johnson, looking to see if he could potentially run that gap down to contend for a championship before season's end.
Yeah, definitely it's his race to lose at this point. As long as he can keep his car from touching that wall here at Nashville, for whatever reason, it seems to jump out and grab you and pull you right in there close to it. So far, everybody's been doing well. We hadn't seen any contact. Looks like it should be a green flag all the way to the stage.
That is the current rate things are looking to go. Definitely a much cleaner start than we saw in the Thursday night race, where by this point in time, you already had 2 yellow flags that have been thrown, including one on just the opening lap of the race. The battling has been good, though, we've seen so far tonight as well, as you watch Gary Anderson in that 4th place, the number 36 Monster Energy 4 Mustang trying to run down the Gas and Go number 62 just up the road from him. How about the Southern Spiral Pipe G&G number 48, your current points leader, tucked in just in line down in 6th place. Chris Johnson also looking to see if he can get through, trying to maintain his ground. He can keep a solid points gap coming around through not just this race, but next week as well. He'll be able to lock this one out before season's finale in Richmond.
Johnson's car actually seems to get better on a longer run. He was actually putting down some blistering laps there in practice, so I think he's just going to sit right there on the heels of Adamson and just wait on him to make a mistake. And, with that 48 car in your rearview mirror, it probably is pretty unsettling.
And, of course, it is worth noting that it's still a very long race ahead of these guys, right? I mean, still over 200 laps remaining excuse me, just got to lose my train of thought here. The Sugarlands Distilling 225. So you got yourself all these little factors. You got to kind of make your way up, and it's going to be an interesting race. See how this could develop as the long run setup started to come in more. We saw this, of course, coming in big time in the Thursday night race. No Bits had a fantastic short run car, but Chad Sullivan was just able to rip away on the long run.
As Chris
Who's
Johnson
up front?
sidesteps a little bit, gets a little loose, and also gives up a position. So that was pretty interesting. And like I said, he was behind Adamson, thought it was going to be a good run. But I want you to say that Sugarland Distillery thing. Do that 3 times again real quick.
And that'll be Sugarlands Distilling, Sugarlands Distilling, and Sugarlands Distilling for the 225. Got it in my head this time around. News from the pits for the number 38 machine coming down pit road. Interestingly enough, under the green flag here, fuel is not going to be a factor, but it looked like it was a fuel-only stop for Jay Hone. That's a very interesting thing. The fuel window is about 106 laps, and he would have been out there for 20.
Yeah, baby, Jay didn't switch over his qualifying set, you think?
If he didn't switch over qualifying set, I find it hard-pressed that he'd make it 20 laps before he had to come down. What if he just had something that wasn't necessarily going his way in that car, and that's why he opted to see if he can maybe come on down, get it fixed, and to get it sorted for the stage 1 caution, but it might not work out for him. He's not the lucky dog candidate anymore. That goes to Paul Olson, who was recently just put a lap down by Kenny Powell this last time by. You can see Josh Schaffner duking it out now with Jay Hone down through turns 3 and 4. It's a very interesting call for the PPG 38 Mustang. We'll see how that will play out for him later on in tonight's race.
Yeah, definitely. He's got plenty of time to make it up. Just got to be patient and let it come to you.
Absolutely. You just got to kind of be patient, let these races come to you. Hone will glance off the wall in 3 and 4, but nothing too bad. A little bit of a hit with a hammer, and I think will be buffed back out in no time. So your current running order as it sits, you got Powell in the lead, Wyszynski second, Severa third, Adamson fourth, Schaffner fifth. You know, Johnson, Watson, Flores, the round of the cars on the lead lap. Olson and Hone both laps down. Olson is 1, Jay Hone now 2 down on lap 28 of 225, just over halfway here through stage 1.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder maybe Olson can get enough practice laps in, because, I mean, he's considerably off the pace so early on that surely that can't be tires.
Sometimes he's got guys who just aren't necessarily the best at one track in particular. This just might not be Paul Olson's track. On board with Josh Schaffner trying to close out to Gary Anderson in this increasing battle for 4th place, which we've been seeing trying to rage on ever since the green flag dropped some 30 laps ago, and Schaffner has been applying so much pressure, looking high, looking back to the low side, and he'll send one up the inside to Gary Anderson into turn 1. Can Anderson go for the crossover? Going to try it, but cannot get the power down through turn 2. Schaffner will pick up a 4th place at the moment. Gary Anderson going to tuck back in line for 5th just behind. He'll likely try to see if he can maybe pull something out on the long run. He's still got coming to 19 laps to go here in this opening stage. That's still plenty of time for the number 36 car to see if he can get the 50 back.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, as these things linger on, tires are not going to be your friend. It's just interesting to see which line these drivers are taking and how that's actually affecting the fall off of their lap times.
Got another battle raged on further down the order. Look up to 7th and 8th place. Adrian Watts has been losing significant time to Frank Flores the last few laps. Just this last time by, Flores closing up by about a 10th and a half on the 08 JBR machine. So Adrian Watts showing a bit of an uncharacteristic lack of pace for that number 08 machine. Watts has consistently been within, the top 5 for the last several weeks. That has not been the case here tonight. He's been slipping further back. And there you can see race leader Kenny Powell just behind this group. And again, this last lap by, Frank Flores just a little bit quicker than Adrian Watts. He's closing in. He might overtake Watts here in a little bit if he's not careful.
Yeah, Flores is a little loose, though. He actually tagged the wall just a little bit coming around 3 and 4. But, yeah, Powell is just definitely putting on his winning gears. He's just running away with it a little bit.
And that's what we saw Chad Sullivan do a few days ago in the Thursday Night Butt Kicker Cup Series, right? I mean, you had him have that fierce fight with Noah Bitts to round out stage number 1, and then won stage 2 by about 7 seconds. And he was about 3 seconds away from lapping every single driver in the field by the time the race came to a close. And that just proved how fast that Reaper Speed Labs number 21 Ford Mustang was that night. And so far, it looks like Kenny Powell is looking to trying to repeat that feat he could potentially go and lap everybody, though. He's been steadily pulling away from guys like Ray Wachinski as well. You can see Powell now getting set to put Frank Flores a lap down here. Expect Flores to stay high in 3 and 4, leave room for the 24 on the bottom side. Sure enough, the 24 G&G Toyota going to push through from the bottom side. That leaves Frank Flores now the lucky dog driver.
Yeah, Powell's definitely got that thing running around Nashville on a rail tonight. It's got to be really good feeling for him if he can actually hold up and actually get a stage win and possibly even, a race win. That'd be very, very good for his confidence.
But further in the field, Chris Severa putting Greg Wachinski under fire down the front straight of the battle for second place. The 62 Mustang up the inside of the 5 Chevrolet. And Severa goes from 7th place on the grid up to 2nd in just 39 laps. Here comes Schaffner looking to put Wachinski on another spot. Wachinski's going to fall 2 spots in 1 lap. Schaffner has been putting so much pressure now on Chris Severa, steadily reeling in the 62 machine. And lap traffic in front of Severa here is not going to help the matter.
Yeah, Severa was actually started this race like a man on a mission, making it 3 wide, and he has actually marched that 62 car all the way up to second place.
And he'll lose second place to Josh Schaffner, losing third as well to Wachinski, who he just passed 1 lap ago. Flores moves high to allow Schaffner through. It's going to be boxing in. Severa, though, has got nowhere to go. Wachinski backs off, lets his G&G teammate down to the bottom side, decided that was not a battle that was worth duking it out for. So 9 laps to go in stage number 1, coming to the close at the end of lap number 50. And this battle for the final spot for the podium positions is far from over.
Yeah, not what these gentlemen are going to want to see, because now, do you think everybody's going to pit for tires? Would you gamble and try to get the wave around and hope for a caution? I mean, what are you thinking?
I honestly would not expect to see these guys looking to pit early before the stage caution ends. At a track where it's guaranteed you're going to go down 2 laps or so when you come down to pit road, that is just not worth the risk. We look at Jay Hohenright. He came down from the lead, didn't even take tires. He just took about 2 seconds worth of fuel, and even then, still down 2 laps.
As we continue on this race pace, looks like Adrian Watson right now set to be your lucky dog candidate.
So at the moment, that lucky dog candidate goes to Adrian Watts, who is looking to see if he can keep Frank Flores at bay for the next 5 laps or so, and it looks like he will be able to do so. And with 5 laps to go, you'll look up to Greg Wachinski, who is still trying to find his way back up into the podium positions, trying to run down Chris Severa up the road. Wachinski has just been losing time ever since he lost second place. He has not been able to hunt down his G&G teammate of the 62 Mustang up the road from him. You wonder if that's hampering Greg Wachinski here at the moment, but I have a feeling this could end up being a bit of a bad stage for Wachinski. Still has stage 2, though, excuse me. We can go back and get him again.
Yeah, but he's going to have to make some changes to his driving style, because 50 laps is 50 laps. And as these tires get worn, these cars, they just feel worse than cold tires. So we're going to see what actually happens for them.
And for Kenny Powell, he is still putting on a clinic here tonight. 1.5 seconds clear of Josh Schaffner. He just exited turn 2, just in behind him. Pit road closes this time by. 2 laps to go here on stage 1.
Got to give props to Kenny Powell from taking this thing all the way from the start. There's not even been anybody challenging him, so kudos on that team for finally getting that 24 Camry dialed in.
Coming around now for this final lap in stage number 1. Caution flag will fly. 1/6 place. The last driver on the lead lap crosses start finish. It could be an intense battle in stage number 2, but for Kenny Powell, he'll come around through turns 3 and 4, and he will take the stage 1 victory. Schaffner trying to run him down, not going to get there in time. Schaffner second place with Severa in third, Wachinski 4th, Adamson 5th, Chris Johnson all the way down in the 6th position. That leaves Adrian Watts, the lucky dog driver. He'll get back on the lead lap with Flores in 8th, Olsen 9th, and Jay Hone rounded out your top 10 and the field at the stage 1 caution as the caution waves. So with this first competition caution out on the night, let's take a quick step away and we will be back in just a few moments. And so his pit stop's complete. Powell led them down to pit road under this caution flag. He will also lead them off. Let's see if we can dial up your stage 1 winner here on the night. Kenny Powell brings it home. 1 second clear Josh Schaffner, but he was running you down there those last few laps.
I was saving my stuff, conserving. Didn't want to make any mistakes. And I am looking in the back. Josh and Severa both have fast cars, I think. So they're going to keep me on my toes. Trying to stay up here in front.
And of course, you win this opening stage on the night. We saw this on the Thursday night series. Chad Sullivan had to be a bit closer in stage 1, and then he just rocketed away. Do you look to potentially repeat that feat and maybe lap the whole field tonight from Nashville?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm quite as strong as Chad was, but I'm going to do my best. See what happens.
Got any current plans you got going on here for stage number 2, or is it just going to run the race, see what happens?
Well, I didn't make any changes. Actually, having some technical difficulties in myself, so I didn't make the changes that I want to. I've made those changes now for next time, but so I might have to suffer through this one for the changes that I really want in the car.
Fingers crossing that whatever changes you plan on making or have already made, they'll work out for you in the end. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for your G&G number 24?
Yeah, just my G&G Gas and Go Racing team. All the guys are great, and I think we got a good setup this week. And thanks to all of them. That's it.
Thank you, Kenny, for taking the time to join us out here tonight. Congrats on the stage 1 win. Best of luck in stage 2.
Thank you.
That was your stage 1 winner, Kenny Powell, on the night. Lights out on the pace car. We get set to go. Green flag racing once again for stage 2 in just a few moments.
Coming to the green, it's going to be interesting to see who gets a little froggy and who just kind of hangs back. I think he's going to try to push his nose in there and push the issue.
Green flag drops. We're back underway here with the Sugarlands Distillery 225 of the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Powell leads them off. This time, no aggressive launch from Chris Severa. Single file all the way back to Jay Hone. There's a lap down from Frank Flores. We are green flag racing once again. Powell leads the first lap back. Shocker was trying to charge him down in the final laps of stage number 1. Now see if he can potentially mount an offense here from second place, going for a stage 2 win.
Well, if anything, Powell's not going to give up that spot. I mean, like he said, he's got that gas and go Camry dialed in. So, I mean, let's just follow suit and see what happens.
Chris Severa waited in the wings as well in third position. Don't discount Greg Wychinski. We know he has got a great short-run car, so Wychinski will like to be seen if he can maybe make up some moves early on. Oh, Wychinski's sliding out, though! Way to the bottom side of 3 and 4. He'll manage to save that car, but falls back outside the top 5 as a result. Greg Wychinski slips back into 6th place. And how about Chris Severa mounting the charge on Josh Schaffner, trying to lunge it down to the turn 3. Does go anywhere there, has to back out way early. A lot earlier than I thought. He might have actually been a bit too liberal on the brakes there. That's going to cause Josh Schaffner to rocket back up into P2.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm watching Chris Johnson. I think I think Johnson's just biding his time, but he is definitely, that 48 car is going to be my favorite as this thing continues.
Of course, Chris Johnson comes into tonight the present points leader by 48.5 over Kenny Powell, with this latest run of stage points being dished out. I do believe that gap will close to about 45.5 points now, so Chris Johnson definitely still has a big points gap to work with, but if Powell can continue to put out this performance and Johnson can't work his way further up to the field, that gap could shrink down more and more as this race goes along, which could put Kenny Powell in striking distance come Richmond.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need, though. I mean, let's try to make this thing interesting as we wrap up the season, right?
You got 2 races remaining here on the season after tonight. You got one at Chicagoland Motor Speedway, which I believe will be 134 laps. And then, of course, you got what I assume will be another 200-lap event over at the Richmond Raceway in 2 weeks' time. Now, interestingly enough, we will not be racing in the Butt Kicker Cup Series in 1 week's time like you would normally see us. So it will only be the Tucson Sound Art Cup Series at Chicagoland because, of course, well, the Thursday race falls right on Thanksgiving Day. Oh, look out! Adamson slides out, and he tags your points leader, Chris Johnson, as a result. A major incident in turns 3 and 4. I think Adamson just stepped the back end out by himself. Chris Johnson had nowhere to go. We'll take another look at it. And yeah, just losing the back end all by himself, and Johnson comes in completely unsighted. Nothing he could do. That puts major damage all over the front end of the Gas and Go Southern Spiral Pipe number 48 Mustang. That is some bad news for your points leader. This could be a bit of an interesting one now here if Chris Johnson continues to fall back in pace as a result.
Yeah, let's monitor his lap time there and see what happens. He dropped off 0.2 of a second, so I mean, not terribly bad. Hopefully he'll won't have cooling issues and be able to keep it running.
Going back to my earlier point, I mentioned how the Butt Kicker Cup Series will not be at Chicagoland in 1 week's time, such as the Tucson Sounder Cup Series, because that race falls right on the Thanksgiving holidays. So the Butt Kicker Cup Series could be taking a week off just to observe the holidays. It's going to be a smooth run for Justin Levine, another driver out of Frontline in that outfit. And that, of course, means that Levine has won the championship for your Thursday night series, but you still had Travis Bannon, who was looking to make up some runs potentially for the Frontline crew here in the Tucson Sounder Cup Series. Whoa, heads up, Greg Wachinski. Where did the number 5 come from? Chris Johnson is having some major struggles in the 48 car. Checks up Wachinski out of 3 and 4 and staying way high. And you know what I think this is here, Al? That damage might have caused Chris Johnson to start overheating.
That's it. It definitely has affected his handling on his car as he is getting ready to definitely have to make some decisions about what he does to keep going. He's even smacked the wall one time additionally after that. So not good luck for Johnson right there, not at all.
Well, listening into the driver radios out there on the track, that is the case. Chris Johnson just told Adamson to go because he was running hot. So he's what he's actually doing here, he's starting to clutch and coast well with the braking zone. He's swinging it all the way high in 3 and 4, keeping in the clutch until well past the usual acceleration points. If he doesn't do that, it's going to blow that motor, and obviously that is night done for Chris Johnson, and that would be the absolute worst possible situation. If he blows up before stage 2 ends and has to retire, he doesn't get those stage points. You have to be on the track to get those points.
Well, he's still running respectable lap times, even though, you know, he's nursing the damage, so it's just going to be his to see if he can stay on the lead lap at least.
Going to be hoping, no doubt, that he might get an extra caution in stage number 2, or at the very least that he can stay on the left till the end of stage 2 so we could come down, get at least some of the damage fixed, maybe take a little bit of tape off as well, just to allow that radiator to breathe a little bit. I mean, you saw it as well, Al. That was a very square hit that Chris took when he hit Gary Adamson after Adamson started to spin around. So absolutely busted up the radiator a little bit. The front grill is a bit crumpled in. That's what's causing these overheating issues for him.
Yeah, watching these cars, they're actually, you know, they're slipping and sliding around there a little bit more. So I think, you know, you might actually have a caution coming up. It just, things are just loosening up quite a bit here for us.
And up front, the battle is on for the race lead. Josh Schaffner has been steadily reeling in. Kenny Powell, a few thousandths quicker, 1 lap, a few hundredths another lap, out of 10th quicker, 3 laps prior. Josh Schaffner has been looking to apply the pressure to G&G number 24. You're right on board with the number 50 Chevrolet at the moment. And Schaffner can see what he can do to try to go for a stage 2 win at the end of the night. Powell, you can see swinging way high in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, trying to keep Schaffner behind, and so far doing a great job of it.
Yeah, and this is probably exactly what Chris Johnson needs, because maybe if Schaffner can continue to distract Powell won't be able to run those laps, because with Schaffner's nose directly in him like that, that is definitely going to make him a little bit nervous, more so than that last stage at least.
And now both these drivers catching lap traffic. That is Paul Olsen from the bottom side, slowing up to allow them both through. That causes Schaffner to kind of have to back up his run just a bit more, but despite that, still 1/10 quicker than Kenny Powell this last lap by. The gap holding that between 3.5 and 4.5 tenths for the overall race lead. You can take a look at this long shot as the field dives away around this 0.6 facility. There you see Severa Olds getting past Paul Olsen with the flybys, and look at how close that time Josh Schaffner closes up on Kenny Powell, trying to go for the over-under. Has a great head of steam down the back straightaway, but not close enough this time around to get in 3 and 4. If he can get this again, maybe have him for turn 1 here. Good run out for turn 4, down the front straightaway. Schaffner's looking for it, and this time sends one to the inside, going for the race lead.
Off on the inside as Powell continues to hold that lead. Powell's not just going to give it up, but like I said, this side-by-side racing is definitely going to slow both of these guys down.
Kenny Powell still doing a great job on holding that outside line, but Schaffner's not giving in, and every time they enter a braking zone, Schaffner pulls a little bit further ahead. This time, dead even down the back straightaway for Schaffner, though. Down to the turn number 3, Powell swings too wide, out of the groove. That might be done deal. And the pass is sealed for Josh Schaffner. Kenny Powell thinking about fighting back, but he just can't get the run. And with them catching up to Jay Hone, Josh Schaffner will hold the race lead with 17 laps to go in stage 2.
Yeah, I think Powell's probably going to be wondering about Severa now, as he's actually starting to increase his race pace a little bit as well.
Just tucked in behind these guys. He was about 3/10 quicker the last lap by. We'll have to see what the case will be. Now these guys are not side by side with each other. I want to see what Severa's lap will be when he's not being impeded by lap traffic, just kind of being able to compare it with these guys up in front. So for Schaffner, 19.1. Powell, 19.3. Chris Severa, 19.3. So it looks like Schaffner, he's the faster out of both of those, but of course it's worth noting Severa was up the inside of a lap car in turns 3 and 4 the last time by. So we'll compare what Severa is up to Schaffner this time around, coming through 3 and 4 for the 86th time tonight. Schaffner logs a 119.198, a 19.242 for Severa. So sure enough, Josh Schaffner's pulling away.
Yeah, Johnson, this caution can't come soon enough for him. I mean, his car looks like he's been in an abusive relationship. So we just hope that, he can come in and get fixed, because, hey, like I said, he's my favorite to win this thing.
I imagine he's the favorite for a lot of people out there that tend to watch this Tucson Sound Art Cup Series and even the Buck Kicker Cup Series as well. I mean, Chris Johnson is a veteran of the series. He's been around for so long, and he is at the moment trying to defend a crown for a championship at the end of the season, and this damage on the front end is certainly not helping him. I mean, he has had to back up his lap times so much recently just to be... Oh, he hits the wall again down the back straightaway, just so we can try to keep that thing going in the right direction. He was originally running, high 18s, maybe very low 90s. Now, though, consistently 19.8, 19.4, 0.6, 0.5, 0.6. He's been having to back these lap times about half a second a lap in comparison to the leaders just behind him.
Yeah, and does the phrase dent magnet mean anything? I mean, that 48 car, it's full of regret and bad decisions looking like. This guy, he's going to need a break sometime.
You mentioned it perfectly. A break cannot come soon enough for Chris Johnson. So you've got Schaffner, Kenny Powell with Chris Severa in third around the podium. Wojcinski and Adamson fourth and fifth. There, Watson Johnson, the last drivers on the lead lap. Flores is one down. He's a lucky dog driver. Olsen's 3 now with Jay Hone now 4 at the end of lap number 92. Schaffner is looking to continue to extend his gap out. He now has the race gap that Kenny Powell had back to Josh Schaffner by the time stage 1 came to a close. So far, apart from this first stage 1 competition caution, has been caution free. Look back behind. Kenny Powell losing more time out to Chris Severa.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna to come down between these two as who saved the most. Because as we come down to the end of this stage right here, it's definitely gonna play down on tires.
And this time, Severa finds his way up the inside of Kenny Powell. He'll take away second place. Kenny Powell dropping back to third. Whoa, Severa loose. Holy cow. Hang on to it, buddy. Chris Severa with the save of the race so far. It doesn't look like much on the outside, but from the inside, I cannot express enough the wheel work that went into keeping Chris Severa out on track. Got to get another look at that from on board the 62 Mustang if we can, because the amount of times that thing shot left to right down the back straightaway, we're talking more than cat-like reflexes here.
Yeah, I think Powell was having a little sympathy slide with him as well.
Take a look at this one. This is going to be on board with Chris Severa coming around through turns 1 and 2. This time by up the inside, and take a gander here as off of turn number 4. Watch this. Right, left, back, right, left, right, and there, just there, hangs on into turn 3.
Looked like he was fighting Mike Tyson there with that steering wheel.
I have not seen quicker moves on dirt track racing over in midgets of the Chili Bowl. My goodness, that was something, and it's not done yet. Kenny Powell trying to find his way up the inside now through 3 and 4. It's not going to happen, though. Kenny Powell just doesn't have the speed with 3 to go in stage 1. 2, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think Powell's going to give up, though. He's just going to wait for an opportunity. He's just try to slip that gas and go Camry right in there. I guarantee it.
3 laps remaining. Check that. 2 laps remaining. Pit road is closed. And Josh Schaffner has caught Chris Johnson, the 48 car. He's 1 lap down. This is not good news for Chris Johnson. Now Adrian Watts is up the inside. Johnson has got to move here. He's got to get past Adrian Watts this next lap, or he could be trapped a lap down because of the damage caused by contact with Gary Addison earlier on in the race. So Schaffner well and truly clear with the stage 2 win. Johnson has got to push hard here to try to get past Adrian Watts to get himself back onto the lead lap out of turn 4. Schaffner will take it. Johnson trying to give the bumper to Watts. Not going to happen, though. Watts will be your lucky dog driver.
That's nothing wrong with a little bump and run. I mean, that 48 Mustang's pumped a lot of things today, you know, so why not add one more number to the fast?
So your running order at the stage 2 caution is Schaffner, Severa, Powell, Wachinski, Adamson, Watts, Johnson, Flores, Olsen, and Hone. Let's take a quick step away as the caution flies. We'll be back in a few.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Yeah, unfortunately, we come back under caution and Johnson's in the pits. It's one of these things where you take tires, you get your damage fixed. You know, I mean, what are you thinking, Owen?
It really depends, right? I mean, for Josh Schaffner, it could be a very crucial position. He's got himself fresh tires, though. He's now up in the race lead. I'm going to be keeping an eye, though, on Chris Johnson to see if he can get that damage fixed. Got himself back to the lead lap, but he's still sitting down in pit road, now just leaving. So it's bad news for Chris Johnson. We'll see if we can maybe really quick here get in touch with your stage 2 winner. We'll See if we can dial up Josh Schaffner here. We'll make this one quick here, Josh. You might be 2 to the green, but you win stage 2. You got a plan at the moment for stage 3?
Yeah, just yeah, I guess hopefully if I can get a good restart here, just the goal will be to just kind of pace it. I got pretty good pace after 20 laps there, so if I can just kind of jump out front here and just pace it, I feel pretty good about it. Cars are really good tonight.
Well, fingers crossed. You've had a good run so far tonight. 9th place to 1st, and not set in the qualifying lap. Definitely a good result for you at the end of the night for this one. Before I let you go, anybody you let the shout out for that number 50 Chevrolet.
Awesome, thanks, Nolan.
All right, that was your stage 2 winner, Josh Schaffner, bringing it up in the broadcast booth. And tell you what, that was we talk about making it quick, right? That is mighty quick right there. So lights are on the pace car. Stage 3 about to get underway. And we'll be coming around through turns 3 and 4 this time by the longest stage about to get underway. You'll win about 106 laps. If this goes green, drivers will be having to come on down. Pace cars down and in. Josh Schaffner takes them back to the green flag. It's a good launch from him. Chris Severa takes it home in 2nd place. Powell works his way up to 3rd. Wachinski 4th. Adamson 5th. Chris Johnson still 1 down. He's in 7th place, just making his way past Adrian Watts in 6th. Frank Force is 8th. Hone 9th. Olsen down in 10th. That damage really hindered Chris Johnson. Now finds himself trapped 1 lap down.
Yes, these drivers get in line. They opt for single file racing, and I think that's the best choice they're going to be able to make. They're not going to let Josh run off with this thing as he's setting the pace for us currently with that number 50 car for us.
Look back in the battle for 3rd place. Kenny Powell under fire from Greg Wachinski. Powell trying to make a move up on Chris Severa as well for that 2nd position. Whoa, Wachinski way sideways. Look out, slide up the track. Hard to the outside wall. Johnson avoids him. And no caution. We stay green. But what a hard shot for Greg Wachinski as he shot loose and over Greg to back up into the outside wall. Chris Johnson, I feel like he might need to change the race trousers after that one.
Yeah, it's always about between laps 2 and 4 when those tires are cold. They'll just send you right under the wall, just like happened to him.
Now, of course, you got to remember as well the damage that we saw on Chris Johnson's car caused him to start to overheat. He had to back off big time. He struggled with that throughout the remainder of stage 2. What's it going to be like for Greg Wachinski with a much harder hit, arguably, especially since there's so much longer he's got to try to hang on?
Yeah, and he went left and then right hard into the wall, but thank goodness no one else actually made contact with him. So that's fortunate, especially Johnson. That would have been the last thing that he would have needed going around that turn.
And that eliminates 1 driver out of the 3-horse G&G battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Powell is all alone now to battle it out with Chris Severa. Severa has been trying to keep Schaffner close. Schaffner has not been able to pull away as much as he might like in that number 50 Chevrolet. You've got Gary Adamson just in behind, and this could be an interesting little battle here, especially if Adamson can find his way up, potentially pick up a 3rd place finish, but he's got to run down Kenny Powell first.
Yeah, and I like what Josh said, though, because he said it at about 20 laps as far as max pace. So if he can just sit out there and run his own race and not actually have the pressure of trying to catch himself, 62 goes around and Powell makes contact.
And that will be caution number 1 for a spin on the night. Chris Severa takes a slider through turn 4. Lost that one all by himself. And it was Powell, his teammate, that made the slightest bit of contact. But did rip the back bumper off the number 6 car. There you see it again. Just lost by himself. There's the hit for Powell. A single car spin, though, for Chris Severa. Gets it backed off the racing line nicely. Keeps it out of the inside wall. Good car control for Severa to get that thing, round down to the inside wall and out of harm's way as much as possible. Now this could prove interesting here, right, Al? You've got yourself 106 laps out on the field winner. We saw a guy stretch as much as 108 on Thursday. 109 laps left to go in this race. Theoretically, you can make it to the end on fuel from here.
Yeah, but at what cost? The track position. So, that's going to be interesting to see. Good news for Chris Johnson, though. I think he's going to be get that lucky dog, get that free pass.
Chris Johnson's back onto the lead lap. Wojcinski comes down pit road. I would not be surprised if this was to fix up the damage on the number 2 car, taking from the hard shot to the outside wall. That caution could not have come out at a more perfect time for Wojcinski. Get that damage fixed now, and not have to worry about it throughout the remainder of this race, trying to constantly back off and make sure that car doesn't overheat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Wojcinski's been loose a lot, so I think this might be an opportunity not only to figure out the damage, but also maybe try to tighten that car up a little bit.
So the caution flag is out for the 3rd time of the night here from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Let's take a quick step away. We'll be back in a moment. Still under caution here from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the Sugarlands Distillery 225, and this time around going green flag racing. If you just joined us, welcome. I'm Nolan Rempo with Alfonso Nixon beside me in the commentary box, and of course Rob Melton down behind the cameras for tonight's race. Pace cars down and in. Josh Schaubert gets set to lead the back to the green. Only Powell and Watts start on the outside line after a lot of drivers got wave arounds, etc. We're back underway. And how about Chris Bear trying to go for the launch, and behind Chris Johnson trying to have a charge on Wojcinski. Look out, Jay Hogan caught in the middle, almost going to go 3 wide. Severa does make it 3 wide up the inside. Severa still on the lane lap trying to battle it out with Greg Wojcinski. Chris Johnson's right in the thick of this as well. So the PPG for Mustang being ducked and weaved everywhere by 3 different G&G drivers. One of the fiercest fights we've seen all night.
Yeah, I was able to check what lap was on. I was like, maybe I fell asleep, missed something. Holy cow, 3 wide on the restart. Awesome racing, guys.
Phenomenal racing, and now with that last caution, the window is technically open for guys like Wojcinski, Severa, and Johnson, and Frank Flores to make it to the end of this race on fuel. We saw a couple of guys stretch it out as far as 108 laps in the Thursday race. There was about 106 to go when we went green. The potential is there. The question is, are they going to actually do it and sacrifice the fresher tires you get with a midway pit stop that a lot of these other guys are going to go for?
Yeah, I think a lot of these drivers are going to have to try to figure out how that car is going to handle after, say, 67 laps on those tires. I think that might be the deciding factor, though. Fuel, yeah, definitely they could make it, but tires and handle. That's what I'm thinking.
Just saw Chris Severa make the pass on Adrian Watts, so Severa clearly unfazed at the moment, charging his way back up through the field after his earlier spin that brought us under this latest caution period. When he got tagged by Kenny Powell after he had started the spin by himself on the exit of turn number 2. So Severa's going to continue to charge his way up to the front. And at the moment, it looks like now we can kind of take a bit of a moment to settle back, and maybe we can have a bit of a breather.
Yeah, this is definitely the time in the race where drivers are going to want to just try to find that perfect line and save, especially if you're going to try to make this thing on tires. I don't know if Powell and Schaffner will be able to do it since they didn't come in. But I mean, what are your thoughts?
I don't think Schaffner's going to be able to do it. He's already been out for 25 laps as it is. About a quarter of a fuel run. No way you're making another 97 laps on those tires. So Schaffner, Powell, Adamson, and Adrian Watts and Jay Ho will all have to come down pit road. Everybody else, though, theoretically could possibly make it to the end of this race. Battles on for third just up the road. Adamson and Wachinski looking to tango down the back straightaway up in a turn number 3. Wachinski makes up the pass on Gary Adamson just at the head of the shot for that third and final podium position, and Adamson gets squeezed out to the wall. Wachinski's through.
Yeah, I guess we're finding out that Wachinski's car maybe didn't suffer as much damage as we thought as he continues to close the gap even on Kenny Powell.
We talked about this before, right? Greg Wachinski has got a great short-run car. It's just the long-run pace that he always has got to work on. He has not been able to do so tonight. We'll see if he can maybe work on that a little bit more throughout the course of tonight's race. So Greg Wachinski, you can see, still working his way up, trying to work his way up further up into the podium, but he has got, of course, a G&G teammate just up the road, and then Josh Schaffner's going to have to overtake yet, and Schaffner has been on fire over this past little while. Kenny Powell, your stage 1 winner, is tucked in just behind for the second position, still trying to see if he can maybe make up a couple of one more spot yet in this race, take away race win.
And how about Chris Johnson, as he's got his damage fixed and he's running sub 19 laps again, so way to go.
So Wachinski closing up on Kenny Powell. The gap closing down every little bit. You got Adamson and Severa also looking close. Second and third, fourth and fifth. Look up to the battle for P2. Kenny Powell under fire from G&G teammate Greg Wachinski through turn number 1. Almost close enough to give him the bumper this time around. Behind Adamson and Severa also looking to duke it out. We can keep eyes on both battles through these shots. Wachinski opens up the door, gets to the inside of Powell, doesn't get there behind. Severa finds the nose up on the inside of Gary Adamson, and he'll try to work his way up now into 4th place. Severa is back through to 4th, trying to run down Wachinski now for 3rd.
Yeah, Severa, he's definitely, like you said, though, same thing with Wachinski. I think his car falls off a little bit in those longer runs. But this being the longest stage of all, it's going to be interesting to see at about what lap these tires do start to fall off.
Still see Wachinski looking to put Kenny Powell under pressure, trying to get up his inside. I imagine trying to make up that spot before the tire where Ruse starts to kick into effect, right? Because, oh, heads up! A big slide to the inside will lose Wachinski a ton of time. Powell goes through. He'll gain a bunch of time as well. All of a sudden, all that progress that Wachinski was working to build up within the last 20 laps or so, gone in a heartbeat. Tell you what, that is not going to stop him from trying, though. He's still trying to find his way up the inside of Kenny Powell this time around through 3 and 4, but he's just still not close enough. But I mean, look at how consistently he's closing up. That last time by, almost 3 whole tenths of a second quicker than Kenny Powell. He is right there, and he is going to get that pass done in the next little while here. As soon as Powell leaves the door open, Wachinski is going to fill that door with his foot.
Yeah, but you know what they say about your foot is so close to your mouth, so Wachinski's he's fast, but he's loose. That's the key right here.
This time he's there. Look out for the side this time around. Wachinski keeps it stable, and he'll make that pass up into turn number 3. Kenny Powell cannot fight back. Wachinski kicked the door down. He moved his way back up now into the second position, but he is still consistently slower than Josh Schaffner, who continues to get set to pull away up in front.
Green flag pit stops. What does that mean to you?
It means excitement, and it's definitely going to mean a bit more of an intensity being worked up into this race as well. We got guys like Noah Bitts that ran to the Thursday night race. They tried to go for almighty undercuts in the Bucket Cup Series race and just this past Thursday here, and it didn't work out so well. Sullivan's still able to pull around and win, but you got guys here tonight who are trying to see if they can maybe make it to the end of this race without having to stop again. Again, those drivers are Greg Wyszynski, the one furthest up the field. Chris Severa's in the mix of this as well, with Chris Johnson there. And you got Frank Flores and Paul Olson, who might both be able to make their way out there as well. The drivers that for sure are going to have to pit are Josh Schaffner, Kenny Powell, and Gary Adamson, along with Adrian Watts. Coincidentally enough, it is a perfect split in a pattern about guys that came down this last caution by here, out compared to guys that stayed out. You got a guy that stayed out, then a guy that came in. Stayed out, came in. Stayed out, came in. Stayed out, came in. I don't think I've ever seen a pattern like that form on a timing screen in my life before.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of awesome. Well, look, Mr. Olsen is way low on the inside. I think he's pit. Not sure what that's about. He's kind of been off the pace most of the night. Not sure what's really going on with those guys.
Paul Olson does make the trip down to pit row. Might be trying to undercut the 10th or the 9th place driver that he's been trying to battle with a little bit further up the road of Jay Hone. Both those drivers 5 laps down. So Paul Olson comes into pit road. He'll be taking 4 tires and fuel from the looks of things. Sure enough, first the Jackson on the right side, then on the left. So Olson will be off and away. That's one driver down that came down pit road. Just waiting on about half the field now that we know has come down pit road. And who knows? We'll have to see if these other guys, like Chris Severa, can save that fuel and potentially make it work to their advantage.
Yeah, Olsen must be getting more than just 4 tires of Sunoco racing fuel. He's been in the pits for a while. But I understand. I would definitely probably trade pit position for comfort if I was that many laps down.
There's 6 laps to go. Coming up to that now. Laps to go in this 225-lap race. It has been an exciting one so far. Not so much for battles on track, right? But it's been the strategy of this race that has been playing out in full force here tonight. And I hope this race goes green. I really do. I want to see how this strategy could pay off. Can these guys work their way out there? Flores, the next driver to blink as he comes down.
Flores entering pit road also. We're going to see what's going on with him. I thought this was probably a little bit soon for tires, but I guess not. As Olsen still sits on pit road. Not sure what's going on with those guys.
And Severa at the inside of Kenny Powell. He'll make his way now back into the podium positions just where he was before. Sliding out the right of turn 4. The same place he spun out last time. Kenny Powell fell into the same trap, though. That puts Kenny Powell under fire from Gary Adamson just behind in the battle for 4th now. That 24 car got a bit out of shape, and I thought might be going around, but Adamson managed to keep it in there and helped him to get that thing back sorted. Chris Johnson sits deeper in this field as well. Flores leaves pit road. That's a lot of damage on the left side of Flores' car as well. They might have had a hit with the inside wall. Chris Johnson finds his way up the inside line of Gary Adamson as he bottles turn 1 big time. Lets your points leader right on through.
Yeah, Chris Johnson's definitely on a mission. He seems like he's got something to prove, but he's running good. But Schaffner, I mean, that's still the story for this second stage and third stage so far.
Thought it would be all the Kenny Powell show up in front, but Josh Schaffner showed he had the pace at the end of stage 1. Wasn't able to get there, but got that spot up early in stage 2, and he has held it ever since. Kenny Powell has had nothing for that number 50 car up in front now. 4 seconds clear of Greg Wyszynski. More drivers down pit road. Jay Hone and Frank Flores back into pit road. Interesting call for Flores. Jay Hone comes down as well. I think for Flores might have a penalty for the number 28 machine. And I wasn't surprised. I thought it was a bit too close to the line on pit exit. I think he might have either been bought for speeding or an unsafe pit release. I thought it might have been the unsafe pit release, but it looks like it was, in fact, for speeding here. So Flores with a penalty to serve.
And that is also one of the things that's going to play a factor when you say green flag pit stops. Guys going, oh, Kenny Powell into the wall.
Powell's in the wall, sliding down. Oh, and he takes out Chris Johnson. Will the caution fly? It does, and that shatters the pit strategy. Disaster for Kenny Powell. Watch this one here. Hits the turn 2 wall, or the backstretch wall, slides down, slams the inside wall back up high. and then just lose it by himself down low, and Chris Johnson caught up in the middle of that, but I think something must be looking over Chris Johnson, because I think he got away with that one unscathed.
Well, I mean, notionally, he was inside Powell's car. That, you know, just when we're sitting talking about green flag pit stops, you know, those tires being worn, I don't know if that had something to do with it or not, but Powell just riding by himself, and next thing you know, that wall reaches out to grab him. But I don't know what happened to Johnson. That's going to be interesting to see.
Gary Adamson tried to come down pit road with everybody else on the lead lap, but Adamson biffed the pit entry and just missed it altogether, locked it up, and couldn't turn down in time. So caution flag out for the second incident now in this third stage. So far, both cautions for wrecks have come in this final stage. We've had 4 so far total on the night. This is the second one for a spin, and the other 2 have been for stage cautions. So out of pit road, it's Schaffner from Flores, from Wachinski from Severa. Flores, of course, laps down with Chris Johnson's just behind. Adamson comes down a lap late after he failed to make pit road. Powell also comes down and in. It's Jay Holden and Paul Olsen both staying out to take laps back.
Yeah, that caution didn't do anybody any favors. But, you know, when you're trying to pit under green here, that pit entrance is really not your friend. Man, just hard whack for Powell. That's really got to suck for those guys.
It absolutely does. So, set caution for a spin, and this shakes up the entire pit strategy order. At this point, everybody's going to be looking to come down to the pit road, and everybody will be able to make it to the end on fuel. It's a mad dash to the finish from here. Let's take another quick step away. We'll be back in just a few moments.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
In the hands of Josh Schaffner, we get set to take it back to green. With 62 laps remaining, we are back underway for the Sugarlands Distillery 225. Schaffner clear from Severa, from Wachinski. Chris Johnson looking for the inside line for the podium position this time by around turn number 2. Nothing doing. Clean restart, though, overall, as we get back underway here from Nashville.
Yeah, we were talking before the caution about green flag pit stops. And looks like the pit strategy's gone out of the window. Is this a dash for the cash now with 60 laps to go?
Absolutely. Everybody came down pit road in that last caution flag period, meaning everybody is good to just go as hard as they want to the end now with no fuel troubles in the world to worry about. You can use all the Greenwood checkers you want as well. Still wouldn't be able to use up all the fuel in these machines now. That's how much fuel you had to be able to put the car into these cars. Saw Kenny Powell losing the spot to Adrian Watts deeper down in the field. Wachinski trying to find his way to the inside of Adrian Watts. Sorry, inside Chris Severa, excuse me. My brain is all over the place at the moment. Severa under fire from Wachinski for that second position out of turn 2.
Yeah, I think Wachinski is going to be giving Severa everything that he can handle. But hey, kudos to our friend there, Chris Johnson. Unfortunate for Powell, but Johnson's actually able to get himself back up into the top 5. I think Powell probably didn't fix as much of the damage as he had just trying to maintain track position. But, you know, hey, we'll see what happens. I don't think we're done with cautions, but, you know, who knows?
We saw Chris Vera running really high through 3 and 4. Had a loose moment of 1 and 2 the last time around. Greg Wyszynski is continuing to hound the back end of Chris Vera. Loose again out of 2. It's turn 2 that the problem is for Chris Vera. Just can't get turn 2 down. Keeps losing so much time. Wyszynski's so much more confident on corner exit returns 4 and 2. That's where he's trying to gain all his time from. Watch it again. Is Vera going to make the same mistake 3 laps in a row? Clips the wall this time around, so he makes another mistake, but it's a different one this time around.
And, you know, like we say, that's the key. When somebody's behind you, they're just literally just sitting there waiting on you to just make a mistake. You look in the rearview mirror, I mean, that's it. You know, you just can't take your eyes off this track. It changes so fast.
And there you saw Wyszynski try to find the inside line of Chris Vera through 1 and 2. Got up alongside, but couldn't pull the momentum around through the inside of the corner. Had to back off to avoid running into Severa on corner exit. So Severa holds P2 for now. Wyszynski will continue to try to hunt the inside line, I'd imagine, for the good portion of the rest of this race.
Yeah, I think these two are going to be battling for a while here. Just not going to let up. And the one thing that's going to happen by these two going at it like this is it's going to allow Johnson to keep creeping up and keep his name on that board.
Whoa, Severa slides again. This time plows understeer through 3 and 4. That lets Johnson to the inside, and he'll go through. Up in a second position, Severa falls back to 3rd. And looks like Chris Johnson might be trying to find an open door. A little way behind if Severa continues to make these types of mistakes that can cause him to lose so much time. Wyszynski looking set to try to pull away with 2nd place.
Yeah, but Wyszynski's fast, but he's loose. I think these two drivers are going to give each other everything they got. I mean, this is a heavyweight title bout going on between these two for 2nd and 3rd place.
Severa's not been willing to let Wyszynski go either with 50 laps remaining now. Severa has been applying so much pressure. Wyszynski has not been able to breathe in that number 2 car. You look at Severa now. I wonder if Severa just needed a guy who can follow, right? Sometimes you're so much better just following the guy in front of you. You can use their braking points as references. You can use their turning points as references. And it looks like ever since Wyszynski got by him, Severa's really picked up the pace. The mistakes are no longer nearly as common. And he's actually been a little bit quicker for quite a few laps now than Wyszynski as well.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes you do follow that driver that's in front of you, and next thing you know, you're both into the wall. But as these two battle, there's Josh Schaffner just continuing to set a blistering pace and just driving this thing on towards the books.
Both these two drivers about for a second going to lap Paul Olsen. Severa looking high to try to get the momentum around Wyszynski. Not going to happen. Going to also look at the inside of Flores this time around. Through 1 and 2, and Severa's been looking to take that high line and then exit out low, trying to diamond off the corner, get as much momentum as possible. He has been using all of the available track that he can to make that move work. Oh! Talk about a sideways moment. That's an inboard shot and a halfway right there, jerking that wheel 90 degrees hard right. Let's keep that thing from going sideways.
Yeah, I could smell those tires screaming and burning off up here.
This is about as far from over. Still loose out of turn number 4. So Severa is definitely going to be hurting those tires now as he tries to run them down. But already you see those few more mistakes as he gets loose again out of 2. Starting to cost him time. Wyszynski starting to pull away.
Yeah, Wyszynski, like I said, these two, they're just going to sit right there on each other. And it's going to be a dogfight.
It absolutely will, and it's a dogfight that we cannot wait to see how this could play out further in this race. This time, does Severa have the run he needs to look up the inside of 1? Don't think he's quite there yet. I think he's trying to find the outside line. I'm going to be honest, he was looking through the outside the entire way around as Wyszynski looked to defend the bottom, but had to come up to avoid letting Severa get the proper driver at the outside line. Severa, I think, might try to overtake this one here on the outside line. We haven't seen that so far all race tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna probably be a crossover in our future between these two at some point. But you know, as they continue to battle, what do we say again? Oh, Josh just he's just driving it home, hoping that there won't be another caution as he battles with lap 24 to 24.
Wow. Talk about a commentator's curse. You were just talking about he was hoping not for another caution, and just like that, gets another caution. Kenny Powell through turns 3 and 4. Big problems with the 24 car. Watch this one here coming on in. Oh, blows the motor up. That causes it to swing wide, going too fast to come down pit road. So he tried to keep it pinned to the bottom side into the wall. I think he was trying to make sure there wasn't going to be a caution, trying to get it down in tow, but couldn't get it down in time.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Looks like Powell blew the motor. And he tried, awesome job of keeping it off the track. But, yeah, just not quite fast enough.
How about Josh Schaffner under the caution flag? Coming down pit road out for 4 tires. So Schaffner's going to be on fresh rubber, about 26 lap fresher tires than everybody else in the field. But he's going to be at the very tail end as well. That leaves Wojcinski a race leader. That's an interesting call.
I think it's the best call. I mean, he's faster than everybody. He going back. He'll make his way through the traffic. I think it's the best call that he's going to make. Plus, these other guys are going to be on older tires. Adamson's in the pit.
It's hard to surprise there. Gary Adamson has had a bit of an unlucky set of starts. Got into a bit with Frank Flores while trying to lap him as well. Frank Flores in to fix damage. So is Jay Hone. And Paul Olson gets set to put himself back out on track now. 16 laps down. And Powell obviously in the lane. He is your first official retirement, though, from the night. So we'll take another quick step away, and we will be back with a final 35 laps or so of racing. The Sugarlands Distillery 225 at the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in a few moments. So 1 lap to green. Schaub is on the fresh rubber because everybody behind him came down a pit a lap later with Adrian Watts, Adamson, and Hone, Flores, and more. Schaffner with all the fresh rubber starting outside in 4th place. The top 3 all on old tires. 30-lap old tires coming around this time by for the start-finish line. It will be 36 laps remaining. Wojcinski's off and away, and we're back underway for the Nashville Fairgrounds. Chris Johns with a terrible launch. Deeper in the field, Schaffner already at the inside of Chris Severa for 2nd place, trying to run down Greg Wojcinski just up the road in a mad dash for the race lead, trying to take it early on the restart.
Yeah, I don't think Wojcinski's going to be able to hold him off with those fresh tires. I mean, here comes Schaffner to the outside.
And he'll carry the momentum around the outside of 1 and 2. Schaffner back to the point, made quick work of the field. And just 2 laps later, back in front of this thing, leaving the battle between Severa and Wojcinski to rage on. Look out, Gary Adamson also in the mix. Adamson also came down for a fresh rubber, but he gets loose on the corner tires. Has to back out and wait a little bit longer. Severa looking to cover. He tries to make the lunge on Wojcinski down the back straightaway. This time, it will be a lunge and contact. Wojcinski's shoved wide. Wojcinski's in the wall. Severa's in the wall. And both Adrian Watts and Gary Adamson go through. Chris Johnson passes up Greg Wojcinski as well, just behind them. And now Jay Holmes up the inside with a major lockup.
Yeah, contact there between the 38 and the 5. The 5 car didn't do himself any favors by not taking any rubber, but it's definitely working itself out here tonight.
And now Chris Johnson is all over the back end of Chris Severa, trying to find a way through. It's a desperate dive, and Chris Johnson finds the inside as once again Severa grazes the wall, trying to get out of the way. Wojcinski goes through. Frank Flores is through on Jay Hone as well, deeper in the field. This is all kicking off now And Wojcinski trying to run down Chris Johnson, but with Johnson on the fresh rubber, I don't think he's going to have anything for him.
No, I don't. And also Gary Adamson and Josh Hoffner, they're going to pull away. Those two guys also on fresh rubber. You know, that is the deciding key here.
30 laps remaining. Wojcinski, I'm going to correct myself here, on the same tires that Chris Johnson is as well. Both drivers having tire life of, at the moment, about 36 laps old. So Wojcinski is on even footing here with his G&G teammate just in front of him. Wojcinski's been willing to battle hard to take those positions. He's not afraid on who he does it to. We've seen it before with Severa. He's willing to get down and dirty with a teammate if he has to.
Yeah, well, speaking of down and dirty, you know, they still got to go through Johnson. The road to the top 3 goes through Johnson.
And then not only does it go up for Johnson from there, but then it also goes up about another 3.4 seconds up to the next driver on fresh rubber by over 30 laps, which is definitely going to cripple these guys' chances at trying to go for a race win here tonight. They need another caution so they could come down and get some fresh rubber themselves.
Well, I think another caution's not out of the question. You know, it's just, this is short track racing. This is what you get.
Wojcinski trying to look at the inside down the front straightaway. Ended up getting loose the result. That opens up the door for Severa. He'll take the outside of 1 and 2. And now Chris Severa trying to pull the outside lane from Chris Johnson. Can he actually make this one stick? Don't think he'll be able to this time around. Maybe inside. Chris Johnson covers the inside line early. Wojcinski also looks to follow suit. But Chris Severa using the top to his advantage. Forces the issue. Oh, into the wall. Gets into his teammate once, twice down the backstretch. And Severa is forced to yield.
That 48 car gets mighty wide when it comes to positions. Severa and Wojcinski are going to be back here, and they're going to battle. This is going to be an interesting one to watch as it plays out here as we come on down to 25 to go.
24 and a half laps remaining, and what a ride there for Chris Severa. Arguably got pinched in, but arguably, I mean, and didn't really have that position, did he? Coming down the back straight, he had the run, but it wasn't necessarily alongside until Johnson was already closing the gap.
Like I said, that 48 4 gets mighty wide when it comes to passing.
That is not going to scare Severa out, though, of the attempt to try to take the line around the outside line. He's been doing that all race long so far. Trying to open up the door on Greg Wojcinski as well. Might have to take the inside line, though, because Wojcinski has been pushing all the way up to the outside wall, sometimes then some, in his G&G number 2 machine. He is our number 5 machine, excuse me. So Chris Severa's had a tough time trying to get around Wojcinski. Was not able to do so on the last run. We'll have to see if he can do it again this run.
Yeah, and as these guys continue to battle, pretty soon here in the near future, they're going to see that 5-0 car in their rearview mirror, as he's going to actually, he's on pace to put them a lap down as well.
And Greg Wojcinski trying to close up to Josh Schoffer now. They got Frank Flores just behind them, but Flores is, of course, several laps down, so he is a non-factor in this battle. It's a 3-horse race between 3 different G&G drivers for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Severa still looking to close up the gap on Greg Wojcinski, trying to find any way through. This could get physical before this race ends. Wojcinski in turn trying to make one up in your current points leader, Chris Johnson. All 3 drivers stepping down a little bit on turn 2 that time by. Severa forcing the issue. Top side for the 62 Mustang. This time he's got the run. Oh, too wide though, almost into the wall. Comes up, almost doors Wojcinski down the front straightaway, but he'll hold the line, and this time won't be able to back out, and looks like Severa will pick one up with Wojcinski on the outside through 1 and 2.
At some point, these drivers are going to lose patience, and they're going to try to get around Chris Johnson. Right now, he's literally holding off 2 cars. He's holding off the 62 and the 5. So, like I said, patience is wearing thin.
And already you saw Severa trying to find the outside line, but Chris Johnson once again covered him off, trying it again through 3 and 4. No room. And a bit of a loose moment out of turn 4 caused Severa to back out as well. Almost to the right rear quarter panel of Johnson that last time through. The problem for Severa, he's pushing it too deep into his corners. Goes for the crossover this time, though. And it'll take second place. Oh, and it's caught down with Johnson. It's all gone wrong. Johnson hard into the outside wall as a result. Just pinged off the wall right down into Severa. And then back up into the outside wall in turn 3, knocking the front clip off the 48. You saw Severo all the way up. Wojcinski spins, and Severo's into the inside wall. Caution flies, and it all comes together for the GNG teammates. That was an incident that was developing for several laps in a row. Started all the way back. 2 laps ago when Chris Johnson pinged off the wall, got into Severo. The next corner, Severo got loose down the front straightaway and locked up into turn 1. You saw the other incident right there. Loose again for Wojcinski out of 2. The crossover attempt for Severo went wrong as a result. Wojcinski pinged back to the outside wall. Severo got involved. Unbelievable. And you'll see it here, Al, all by himself, unforced error, just went before he could do anything about it.
Yeah, he's been loose all night. I mean, that car is and plus he comes down low on that apron, so I watched that as well. It's an interesting turn of events.
I'll tell you what, it's not looking like a happy night at the moment in the G&G camp. They are arguing about who is at fault for that incident at the moment. It's not a pleasant sight to see, especially you got, 2 G&G teammates, that collide together like that for such an aggressive battle. I mean, you don't expect to see something like that. I mean, you'd expect it between rival teams, yes, but we haven't seen something quite like that yet. But I tell you what, that was the caution that these guys in the back were wanting. They were wanting to get a run-up so they could potentially get a jump with some fresh rubber on Schaffner, Adamson, and Watts. But because of that wreck, neither driver has opted to come down to this caution period. And I don't know why you would. I don't know why you wouldn't come down, right? You're on 54 lap old tires. Come down, get a fresh set, get the drop on Schaffner. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, but I think the cars that will benefit most from fresh tires are damaged.
That's also another fair point. There was the 3 drivers that were all looking to get a run that were collected as the main drivers as the instigator for this latest caution. That's terrible luck, isn't it? The only guys that weren't collected in that mess on the lead lap were either 4 seconds out in front or they were 5 or more laps down.
Yeah, and the most fortunate thing that occurred, if there is a silver lining to that caution, is they actually prevented Josh Schaffner, Gary Adamson, and Adrian Watts from actually lapping the whole field, because that was the next thing that we were going to be talking about, because they were literally getting ready to come into that frame there, behind those guys.
So at the moment, it's Schaffner who leads from Adamson, who leads from Watts. And you have Wojcinski and Johnson. Persevera now sits 1 lap down in 6th. Jay Hona is 7th with Frank Flores and Olsen in 8th. And 9th with Powell. A lonely 10th place for him. It'll be, I believe, 9 laps to go when we take the green flag here. 9 lap dash to end out this 225 lap race here for the Sugarlands Distillery. 225 from the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds.
This is going to be anyone's race. As a matter of fact, you could say that it's Josh Schaffner's race to lose, but Gary Adamson, I mean, here's a guy who we really hadn't said much about tonight, through the first 2 stages, but yet as we come with 10 to go, he's got the fastest lap on the board.
So the pace car going to be coming down to pit row this time by... We're going to go racing for the final 9 laps here from Nashville, Tennessee, in the hands of Josh Schaffner. Takes them back to the green. We are underway for 9 more laps already. Severo bumping Johnson down the front straightaway. It's not going well for the G&G crew as they get set to duke it out in a dogfight behind them. Wojcinski knocks reverse Chris Johnson. Johnson pushing Wojcinski towards the top side of the racetrack. The top 3 get away well, and nobody's able to challenge Schaffner out of 4.
Schaffner's just going to put the nose down on that Chevy and just let it do what it does as he leads Gary Adamson in the field as we're coming on down to 7 to go.
Just 7 laps remaining here from the Nashville Fairgrounds. Under 5 minutes of racing left in this one under the green flag. You look back to Adrian Watts down in 3rd. It's been an up and down night for Watts. Started 4th place, slipped back to 7th. But on that great pit call, worked his way back up to the podium, and it looks like that's where he's going to be set to finish it off here tonight.
Yep.
And it will be 5.
Go ahead. It's five to go. Coming up on 5 to go with Josh Schaffner leading us on home here tonight at Nashville.
So 5 laps remaining, and already 1 second clear of Gary Adamson. Adamson is just not able to compete. I mean, Adamson hasn't had the pace to contend with Josh Schaffner all night long. I mean, Schaffner's been in the league of his own so far. The only driver that's able to get close to him had been Kenny Powell, but Powell getting collected in an earlier incident and eventually blowing his motor, finds himself now out of this race. So coming around with 3 to go, there's nobody that can contend against Josh Schaffner, and you're absolutely right. It is Schaffner's race to lose.
Yeah, it's just, man, so much bad luck and misfortune handed out like candy and Halloween for these drivers here tonight.
So unfortunate, but it's worth noting that this championship fight not over yet. Chris Johnson had a bad night. He'll finish it off most likely in 5th place, but he's got 2 more races to lock this thing out at Chicagoland and Richmond coming up soon.
Yeah, Powell definitely, well, his chances early on in this thing, it looked like he was the car to beat, but, you know, misfortune definitely hit that 24 camp harder than Mike Tyson in a JV boxing ring, so, you know, unfortunately, he's going to finish some 40 laps down.
And for Josh Schaffner, he'll come around 1 and 2 for the final time today. The white flag is waving. And as he comes around through 3 and 4, it's a straightaway back to Adamson. Josh Schaffner will win the Sugarlands Distillery 225 for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. That was Adamson to bring it home in 2nd place, just behind with Adrian Watts rounding out the podium. Only 5 drivers at the end of the night finish this race on the lead lap. The Severa goes up and over in turn number 2. So it's Schaffner who wins the race. Adamson 2nd, Watson 3rd. Greg Wachinski finishes this race out in 4th place with Chris Johnson, the final driver, on the lead lap. Chris Severa is 1 down in 6th place with Jay Hone in 7th, 5 down. 11 down is Frank Flores with Paul Olsen further back. Kenny Powell, the lone DNF from Nashville.
Yep, Nashville this track definitely did not disappoint. It's Josh burns it down.
Josh Schaffner looking set to burn it down tonight. And as Josh Schaffner continues to celebrate out there on the front straightaway, we will see if we can't dial up a very ecstatic race winner at the end of the night. Josh Schaffner, if you can hear me throughout all the burnouts you're doing down there on track, you blow the motor on the car in celebration. What a win for you tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Nolan, and yeah, I just want to thank everyone, and yeah, on a good race there, and yeah, just a great car tonight. I just didn't do nothing major, just kind of just hit the reset from where it was Thursday, where I was a little bit off that night, and just got the rear security in the car, and that was the big thing, and kind of fixed my loose entry and my drive off, and yeah, just had great long run speed, and yeah, just a great race overall, and Kenny was really fast on the short run. Stage 1 and 2 there, and he really fired off stage 2, but yeah, it just had to be patient there, so I wouldn't burn up my right front, and yeah, just kind of let him come back to me, and from there we had pretty clean sailing.
You had a few cautions coming out in that 3rd stage, and a lot of them at about the worst possible opportunity, right when you were getting set to set sail and run away with this thing. Did either of those cautions ever have you looking a little bit nervous?
Yeah, the last one there, just because, you know, I was just catching those guys. I'm glad that didn't happen a lap or 2 later. I could have been in that, but yeah, I just had to make sure, you know, got woed up there and get run over on the back just to avoid that. But I knew as long as, you know, as long as I didn't get in a crash, we were going to be in good shape. I had good pace, and my car was clean. That was a big thing. If you had a clean car, you had a big advantage tonight, and I don't think we even had a 0X on her tonight, so she was clean start to finish, even though we kind of started in the rear there.
And, of course, next week it is the Chicagoland Speedway getting set to wrap up the season with 2 more races left. What's your take coming into the last mile and a half of the year?
Yeah, I kind of, I know we're off Thursday night to Saturday night, Lisa. I just kind of run part-time. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be at Chicago or not yet, just with the travels. But if I can, I'll be there. But I love that Speedway, great mile and a half. And UJ has pretty good tire wear there, but always a Speedway I've enjoyed through the years.
And before we let you go, Josh, anybody you'd like to shout out for that number 50 machine?
Yeah, obviously, you know, want to thank you, Nolan, in the booth, and Kenny, and that kind of, you know, run the ISCA league, just a great league, great drivers, and yeah, the guys at G&G Racing, and yeah, I got to thank all the supporters in the car, Pioneer and Corteva AgriScience, and H&B Smith Farms, and JMS Agronomics, Mirror Seed Solutions, all the guys, you know, in the seed world there that help the wheels go around on this thing, so appreciate all their support.
Thank you, Josh, for taking the time to join us up here tonight. Congratulations on a hard-earned victory. Best of luck. Hopefully next week in Chicago. And if we don't see you there, hopefully we'll see you in Richmond for the finale.
Thanks, Nolan.
That was Josh Shoffner, your race winner at the end of the night for the Sugarlands Distillery 225. Second place, one of the only 3 drivers on fresh tires by the end of this race was Gary Adamson. He brings us up now in the second place. And Adamson, what a run for you. Kind of a bit of an up and down night all the way throughout the grid for yourself, as with Adrian Watts, who we'll talk to later on. But, I mean, what a run for you to finish in second place. And Mr. Gary Adamson, you got a copy with us, buddy? And looks as though we might be having a little bit of struggles with Gary Adamson. We'll hopefully come back to him in just a little moment. We'll move things on down to Adrian Watts here. We'll try again in just a few moments to get back in touch with Mr. Adamson. So, Adrian Watts, you were kind of up and down throughout the order tonight. You fell down as far as, I believe, 7th or 8th. And then, of course, you worked your way back up, though, with the pit strategies. You finished on the podium.
Yeah, that's I'm in a little shock right now because I just didn't think that was going to happen tonight.
So what a run for you. I mean, you were kind of in the middle of a bit of some intense fighting throughout the midfield over the course of the night, and you find yourself now on the podium, and does it feel nice to be able to just kind of take it back and relax a little bit?
Yeah, it's like I said, when I was using a little strategy there, and I knew I had another set of tires, and when I went in that pit, I seen those guys stay out, and I knew my chances were getting better.
It's been looking solid for you so far in your bid to try to take a solid position here. Of course, you finished ahead of Frank Flores, and it's still a pretty sizable gap up between yourself and he in the battle for third place in the points, but it's much closer between yourself and Jay Hone at the moment. Do you look to hold on to a 4th place in the points here coming into the final 2 races?
Yeah, last week was kind of disappointing, and like I said, I bounced back this week, but I'm going to work hard in Chicagoland. I'm gonna make sure that I'm out front there.
Well, fingers crossed we'll be seeing you up front before long. But before I let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for that JBR Chevrolet?
Yep, just my guys at JBR, Glasgow Fire Department, DA Designs, and Ryko Motorsports for the awesome setups. You guys for putting on an awesome show and an awesome league, and I'm just glad to be here.
And thank you, Adrian, for taking the time to join us in the booth. Congratulations on a 3rd place finish, and best of luck next week in Chicagoland.
Thank you.
We'll try one more time here to get a hold of Mr. Gary Adamson, your 2nd place finisher. Gary Adamson, this is Nolan Rample in the booth. You got a copy with me this time around.
I hope so.
Hey, we got you this time around. 2nd time's the charm, it would seem. Speaking of 2nd place, you finished 2nd place here in today's race.
Yeah, that shocks me, to be honest.
Well, how was it for you there? I believe this is your career high finish for yourself here now in this series. So that's got to feel mighty good for you, just one away from a win.
This is the first time I've ever been interviewed. This is the scariest part of it, to be honest.
Well, we'll get your thoughts here quickly then on Chicago coming up in just 1 week's time on Saturday. It's the last speedway we've got in the 2021 seasons. Do you have any special thoughts coming up for us there?
I struggle with tires on 1.5 miles. I just haven't learned how to control the tire yet, so still learning.
Well, best of luck then that you'll be able to find yourself with a solid run there. You've been definitely putting out some strong performances recently. You put your strongest one together for us tonight, though, and bring it home. 2nd step on the podium. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for that monster? Oh,
Nolan? Hey, Mr. Adamson, this is Al Nixon. I just wanted to let you know you actually had the fastest overall lap time tonight as well.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's definitely no small feat when you got guys like Josh Shovner who are running away with it, so definitely a huge accomplishment for you there. So you come away with not just the fast lap of the race, but a career-high finish for you as well so far in the ISCA. So overall, I'd say a very successful night. Before I let you go, anybody you let you out for that Monster Energy number 36?
Rocket Racing for the setups, Penny for the invite, and you guys at the booth, and everyone who runs this league. I'm real happy to be part of it.
We're happy to have you with us, Gary, and thank you so much for coming out to join us here tonight. Congratulations on a 2nd place finish. Best of luck next week in Chicago.
Thank you very, very much, guys.
That was Gary Adamson bringing it home in second place, fastest lap of the race, and of course, new career highest finish for himself as well in second place. Definitely has the room to work his way up there and get into victory lane before the season is over. But for now here, Al, we get set to close things out for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and next week comes the second to last race, the final mile and a half on the year, and it's a track that a lot of drivers certainly seem to like, myself among them. What are your thoughts coming over into Chicagoland Speedway?
I think it's going to be a great break to get us back up to mile and a half racing. And hey, to everybody out there, happy Thanksgiving to you guys, man. You know, reach out to the ones that you love and have a great holiday.
And of course, it is worth noting we will not be present here at the Chicagoland Speedway for the Butker Cup Series on Thursday, as we are going to be stepping back to observe the holidays. So instead, next week, we'll be seeing you for the Chicagoland Speedway for the Tucson Sound Art Cup Series for round number 11. We'll see you guys all next Saturday.